Hello and welcome to the All Change Review. Firstly, an apology for the editing in last week's video. I really have to remember to get some sleep before I make these things. But that said, today may also be the same. But we will press on regardless, as today we look at the tribute to the British coins that never wear. Now, we'll come on to the value a little later on, but first, story time. Once upon a time, in a kingdom not that far away, as it was here in Britain, there was a currency known as pounds, shillings and pence. Now, it was an easy system to understand once you knew that there were 12 pence in a shilling, 20 shillings in a pound, and 240 pence to a pound. And then you were okay, until you also realised that a penny can also be split into a halfpenny, or a halfpenny, or that halfpenny can also be split again into a quarter penny called a farthing. So, maybe not that easy after all. But then this was a system that had been used since the classical Roman Empire times, and it had been used in British and Commonwealth countries since the 8th century, so why change it? But then, one day in 1824, Sir John Wrottesley proposed decimalising the currency, following France, which had done it only a mere 29 years beforehand. But his proposal was turned down. But then, a few years later, in 1859, a new report was put forward to propose the merits of decimalisation. It was turned down. Then again in 1920, another report was put forward. Again, turned down. And then in the 1960s, things started to look up. And this is where our main protagonist comes in, Christopher Ironside. And nope, he's not the detective in the wheelchair. The 1961 report, following the success of the decimalisation in South Africa, said this was something we should probably look into. And by this time, the British Empire and Commonwealth countries were some of the last countries on the planet still to be using pound, shilling and pence. So, in 1962, in complete secrecy, artists were asked to design the new decimal coins. Now, Christopher Ironside came up with many designs and variations, and he won the secret competition, and then spent the next 4 years designing the new decimalised coins, which you can see on the Mint website, and I'll post a link below. But then, in 1966, after 4 years of working, he was told there was going to be an announcement by the then Chancellor of the Exchequer, James Callaghan. He was about to announce the new currency, and the designs would be selected from a new open competition. So the work he had done already, which included the design we have here, could not be used and was not to be scrapped, as they hoped they could use it one day for the work that had been put into it, but it couldn't be used in the new competition as all the entries had to be judged anonymously, and everyone knew these designs who had already been working on them. So, after a few days to collect himself, Ironside went back to the drawing board, literally, and came up with a whole new range of designs. By the entry date, he was exhausted, but he won. And now came the tricky point of getting the designs signed off. But after a little tweaking here and there, they then became the main designs of our coins, which came into circulation on decimal day on the 15th of February 1971. And so, with the 100th anniversary of his birth and a nod to him and the history of British currency, we have this special coin, which is actually very close to his original design of the Royal Arms, with a couple of little tweaks to fit in, as it's on a slightly smaller 50p to what we would have had back then. Instead of saying new pence, it says 50 pence, and then just in the bottom here, it has his initials as well. But it is a lovely tribute to one of the great artists of British currency. Now, I'm just going to quickly pick it up and show you the back. And of course here we've got the fourth portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. I'll put a link below as usual to the video where we cover off the previous portraits of Queen Elizabeth. And we have a plain edge. On to the value. How much is it worth? Well, it's worth 50p. It's a normal coin from circulation and it's worth its face value. But as a collector's item, I've had a look online and they went for an average of 90 pence, which was actually a little more than I was expecting, as there were 7 million of them minted, which is quite a high mintage figure. But I like the simplicity of this design here, and the story for the tribute. It tends to be one of the commemorative coins that sort of generally gets overlooked. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below, and please like and subscribe. But until next time, coin collectors, thanks for watching and keep collecting. Bye!